Hello, hello, and welcome to the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness Show, Australia registered charity organization, where we have open conversations with the youth about mental health. I'm your host, KATINDA, NDOLA, the author of The Big Comeback, founder and the creator of the creative director of the Confidence and Self-Esteem Academy, and one of GYMHA's special board advisors. And in today's show, we are so delighted and blessed to be in the presence of four amazing panelists. Now, first panelist is Deepshika Tripathi Jha. She is GYMHA's training manager, counseling psychologist, life coach, international speaker, CEO and founder at Prayers. Hello and welcome to the show, Deepshika.
Hello, Katinda. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you all.
Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you. And our second guest is Edith Wanyonyi. She's a counseling psychologist, community development practitioner, GYMHA's advocacy manager and ambassador. Hello and welcome to the show, Edith.
Thank you very much, Katinda. It's a pleasure.
Nice to see you too. And our third panelist is Noor Ahmed. Noor is GYMHA's ambassador and also event coordinator. Hello and welcome to the show, Noor.
Hello, Katinda. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone.
Delighted to see you as well. And the fourth panelist is Dr. Isaiah Sunday. Isaiah is GYMHA's ambassador and also he is a psychologist. Hello and welcome to the show.
Hello, I am very excited to be here. Thank you very much.
Welcome and thank you for being here. Now, in our conversation today, our guests will give us some insights on how to overcome societal influence of negative mindset. But before we begin, I'd like to ask the question, how are we feeling today? Isaiah. You're on mute.
Yeah, I've been actually exciting. I'm so happy to be here. It's the thing of joy. I've been waiting for an opportunity to be here, to hear people hear my views based on my perspective. So I'm very excited to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. What about Noor? How are you feeling today?
Yes, I'm doing perfect and I'm doing very productive as well. So without all the negative, with all the positive, I feel always positive in the negative situations. So I feel very positive right now. Thank you so much for asking.
Thank you. What about Edith? How are you feeling today?
Thank you, Katinda. Today I feel excited. You know, it's been a long time since I was on the live show. And so being here today, I feel great and thankful for life, for health. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. What about Deepshika? How are we feeling today?
I always feel great whenever I'm at this platform, GYMHA, with which I'm so much connected, and it really gives a great feel, I would say. Yeah, I love to be here with you all.
Thank you so much. It's so amazing to see everyone today. Thank you for showing up and thank you for being of service to our youth, because that's why we're here. We're here to promote mental well-being, and you guys are doing a fantastic job. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. So the first question is, how do we explain societal influence and negative mindset? Deepshika, what are your thoughts?
So my thoughts, I would say it's like just a reference stack. Whatever references we collect, since we just gain our senses from childhood onwards, from society, from whatever things we watch or listen, or with whom we are surrounded with. So all these act as source of references for us. The way one used to just finish up one article or publish a research paper, references are there. Similarly, our mind just captures all the references. And just stick one reference to our mind, we use to just hit for evidences anywhere and everywhere. Suppose someone feel like, oh, this kind of personality persons are a bit rude. Then whenever they see any person like that, they will just start referencing to their old references and they will feel like, yeah, I'm right. This is really true. These kind of personality people are like rude only. So this way, somehow we just strengthens time after time, day after day, and moment after moment, whatever references and evidences we have collected so far in our mind. So each and everything which is around us in the form of people, in the form of events, in the form of news or anything. So all these act as references with which we form our mindset, or I would say foundation of our mindset. Of course, our upbringing is a great part. Our parents' relationship, how they just, what values they inculcate within us, what kind of thought processes they used to have. So they usually pass on to their younger ones. And then our surrounding, our neighbors, our society, everything. So all these use as references. And these all lay down the foundation of our mindset.
Yes, I know there is I think one of my favorite teachers, Jim Rohn, said, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So, and also your environment, your environment, conditions and programs.
And I would, I would like to add on something. You have reminded me something very important, which I was missing probably, and that circle of influence.
Yes.
The people with whom you surround yourself are the major portion who are going to contribute to form your mindset. So always be very picky when it comes to people you surround with. So be very choosy with those. At least we have this choice. Like we can't change our family, we can't change our parents, but we can definitely opt for people whom we pick, whom we surround with, like with whom we surround ourselves. So it's going to act to form our mindset. All these factors are really important.
Thank you, thank you. And Noor, how can mindset be influenced negatively? What would you like to say to that?
Well, actually, thank you so much for your question. And as you all know, there's 2 types of mindset. That is one growth mindset, another one is fixed mindset. I do believe that a fixed mindset orientation is very to be inflexible and it can be conforming. People entrancing a fixed mindset that often see the intelligence, but talent as instant is difficult to develop. And for that reason, the mindset, the fixed mindset, basically they influence them negatively, but not fully, but most often, because in that time, people even believe that this one is very smart, it can be conforming and delivering. And whenever students have with the fixed mindset, they are actually less willing to try to challenge the work or subject because they are afraid of slipping up or no longer being seen as a smart. So I think some fixed mindset tools that affect the people, students, youth, and all the human being in negative way. So this all about the reason that main reason for can they say the mindset can be a negative. Barry, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And what are some specific features of negative mindset? Isaiah, please unmute yourself.
Thank you very much for the question. Well, the following steps I'm going to mention now are the few things that will make one know that he's having a negative mindset. One, the person always jump into conclusion. It have a way of jumping into conclusion all the time. He doesn't want to rationalize, think about it. Then another thing is overgeneralization. For example, all men are wicked. You have most times ladies. Sorry to say this. Ladies say this. Say all men are the same, or things are like that. All women are like this or like that. So people with negative mindset have a way of overgeneralizing things. Then they like label things. Normally, we are not supposed to be labeling things because every human being, just like we have our own differences, have their own perspective to things. So we shouldn't be person with a positive mindset. It won't label, but in vice versa, person with a negative mindset, you always label. Will try as much as they can to label. Then there's always this word of saying it should be, it must be. A person with a positive mindset should always know that things are flexible. So the words must, I must get that goal. I must achieve that dream. I must get that car. And all must. In as much as one is trying to get things done, in as much as one is trying to achieve his dreams, you should know that there should always be anticipation for disappointment. If you have this in mind all the time, there is no way you're going to feel so bad for so long. You're going to punish yourself. You're going to feel sad, do things you're not supposed to do. So they always use the statement must, but rather we should be using statement like should. Then another thing is emotional reasoning. Emotional reasoning. Most of people with a negative mindset, they have a low emotional intelligence. They expect too much from people. You are in a world. If I have to go into a biblical form, sorry to bring this on, it's not really that okay to be very dependent on people. So someone with a negative mindset will be over dependent, low IQ, low emotional intelligence. You always have this low emotional intelligence. Then finally, at this point, it has safe of blame, attribution, external attribution. It has the attribute of external attribution. They don't take failures to themselves. So people with negative that have negative mindset always give external attribution. By external attribution, I mean he's the cause of it. She's the cause of it. It was the organization that made me not to get to my goal. My parents were the reason why I couldn't get here, and all sort of excuses. So they make external attribution instead of internal attribution. So these are some of the because there are many signs that somebody is having a negative mindset. So some of these are the most standard one that you could know that somebody is having a negative mindset. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Isaiah. I like that because I think one thing that most people do, and it's maybe a good way to do a self-awareness check, is the blame.
Yeah.
When things go wrong in life, in whatever capacity, which are things you have no control over, people like to point fingers because it's easier than taking responsibility. But unfortunately, it all starts, it's always within. What's outside is not your business. It's how you respond to situations. And how so that's a good, I like that point because that's one thing I know a lot of people do. They always point fingers. They never say, oh, they will say it's the government, or it's my mother, or it's my friends, or it's my workplace. But they never stop and say, hang on a minute, what's the common denominator of that? It's me. So then is it me the problem? Do I need to look inward and see how can I improve, change, grow, rather than blame and always stay in the same space? Because if you're blaming, you're not growing and you're not changing. So you're stuck.
Exactly the point. So I think growth will actually take place anytime sooner or later when every human being on earth started to take responsibility for all their deeds. If we stop pointing fingers at people that he was the reason, I think we'll really do much of growth, whether physically, emotionally, or physically, any way around. So blame, external attribution is very important things that people with negative mindset have, and they should actually work on it.
Thank you. That was a very good point. So we'll go to Edith. Why is negative mindset so powerful and destructive?
Thank you very much, KATINDA. First, I think it's very important that we define what mindset is. And like the rest have said, I think mindset is the beliefs that we have, and they influence how we view the world. So these beliefs can affect our thinking, our feeling, and our behavior. So when someone has a negative mindset, it's very easy that it affects their mental state. Because when you're always criticizing yourself, your mental state is affected. You realize that you're having anxiety issues, social anxiety, depression. You start feeling helpless and hopeless in life. So having a negative mindset is not healthy. And also it contributes to problems in your life. So it affects your mental health in general and your self-esteem, because when you're constantly criticizing yourself, or when you believe the things that other people said about you, For example, like Deepshika said, childhood is a very crucial time. And in childhood is where the mindset is shaped. So the guardians, the parents or teachers, they have a great impact on a child. So you realize that maybe when you grow up, you could have that negative, that fixed or growth mindset, because you are taught the labeling and maybe the praising from your caregivers. And so having a negative mindset can easily influence every area of life, how you relate with other people, your relationships, and the beliefs about yourself as a person. You can end up feeling like you cannot grow from where you are, like you're limited. You'll end up feeling like your abilities are limited. So you'll be having comments like you'll be having sentiments about yourself, like you'll start saying, I cannot do this, or I cannot do that, or this is just me. So you'll not see a need to improve yourself as opposed to having a positive mindset. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I like that. Yes. So we need, Deepshika, what about how can one shift from negative to positive and destructive to constructive mindset?
So the very first thing I would say, the ratio is we all need to memorize it, 1:3. Fine. Whenever one negative thought hits you, you just hit back with 3 positive thoughts. Immediately, just revert it with 3 positive thoughts. That's the ideal and standard ratio. So this is the very basic and first step which we can take towards shifting our mindset. Apart from that, self-awareness is the key, definitely. Because we need to be aware of our emotions, our feelings. Then only we are going to manage it effectively. Unless we are not aware of our emotions or feelings, or what's actually troubling us, what are the triggers, how can we work on that? So awareness is the key. 1:3 is the ratio. Awareness is the key. As well, honest reflection and analysis is the strategy which is going to work. You need to be really honest. While you are just scanning through your emotions, how are you feeling? Why are you feeling? What are your triggers? And actually what you want. Do you want, you need to question yourself. Do you want to be like this? Do you want to be in this state? Do you want to live a life like this? Probably the answer will be no. No one would prefer to live like that. No one would prefer to be in that state. No one. Everyone needs happiness. Everyone needs peace. Everyone needs growth. Am I right? Does that make sense?
Sounds really good. But Deepshika, I would like to ask you, so how often should somebody do self-awareness? Would that be an everyday, daily reflection every day?
So yeah, for that, one can start with guided mindfulness practices. And that starts with just while you are breathing, the simplest way. If you can, if you're not very much enthusiastic person, you don't have springs in your feet, and you can sit at a place peacefully and calmly, and you can simply observe how it feels like when you inhale, how it feels like when you exhale. It's a simple thing. Anyone can do it, anywhere, anytime. So this is the very basic step towards awareness. And then gradually we can incorporate this in while we are eating, while we are taking rest, while we are with our loved ones. So constantly and consciously, we need to be aware of our emotions and why, how of those emotions, and how can we manage them? Why these emotions are there? What are the triggers? So basically what, why, and how. These are the key points which we need to take care of. And awareness starts with simply observing your breathing pattern, simply exhaling and inhaling. which we usually do until we are alive. So that's very easy, very easy.
Thank you, thank you.
Right?
And what about Isaiah? What are the effects of negative thoughts on the body? I know we get tightness, we get tired, we get fatigue, but what can you tell us?
Well, since I'm in the realm of psychology, I would like to bring the effect of negative thinking on the mind, on using a psychological perspective. Okay, one of the effects of negative mindsets, so our psychological well-being, it can lead to low self-esteem. By low self-esteem, I mean you are not able to come out to public, to your friends. You're not able to do things you do again because you feel you have lose a sense of your importance, sense of yourself, sense of your nature. So you see yourself deteriorating. You can't come out to speak out for yourself. You can't speak out when you walk. You're just there. You're becoming numb of yourself. You withdraw from situations. At this moment, you're losing your self-esteem. Then another effect of negative mindset to psychological well-being is that can lead to anxiety. You will see a strong, intelligent person coming out to give a speech and it's shivering, it's lacking. That could be because the person is beginning to have some negative thoughts, mindset within him or her. Am I going to say the right thing? What am I going to say? Is what I'm saying right? Those are negative mindset. Those are negative thoughts, and because of that, you lose yourself. You lose your sense of self-worth. Now, another thing it does basically is that it can lead to what we call depression, and you and I and the entire world know how sensitive depression is. It has a lot of negative influences to society. In fact, statistically, if I can remember, I think more than 50% of people are in the verge of depression. It can be an acute depression, it can be a massive or any other way around. So a negative mindset is literally what leads to depression. Because when you keep allowing negative thoughts to come into your mind, you're going to feel worthless. You're going to feel you're nothing. You're lazy, you feel sad all the time. So this is that is exactly what it will lead to. You start feeling depressed, you see yourself withdrawn, start feeling, there's no need for me to live in this life, I'm tired, I'm this.
Okay, I think we lost you.
People know the implication of that. Sorry, a call came in. So another thing that a negative mindset could bring to people, could do to psychological well-being, is that it also limits our essence of life. We reduce our sense of self-awareness. For example, somebody that have a negative mindset won't be able to think straight, won't be able to focus on its dreams, its goals, because you're busy, or he or she is busy looking at those things that is wrong with his life instead of looking at the future, instead of being optimistic of what is going on. So in summary, depression, low self-esteem, lose of self-awareness, unhappiness are the few effects of negative mindsets in a psychological perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And Noor, what are ways to overcome negative mindsets and its influences?
Okay, well, I'm still going to come from a psychological perspective.
No, this is for Noor. This is for Noor.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Well, actually, our panelists are so much expert on that. That's why he can't stop himself. Anyway, yes, there is some way. I will focus on the 6 different ways that will help you to overcome the negative mindset. First of all, develop awareness that you already shared a couple of times, because this is the key breaking any habit in awareness, because it start noticing those moments that when you are actively choosing to revisit your pain, to literally direct your attention back to the what could bother you, and some other things you have to think about this. So I do believe that if you develop your awareness, it will definitely help you to overcome the negative habit or negativity. And definitely acknowledge that what you are caught. Think about this, what you have been facing and what you have caught, the negative vibe, negative energy, negative information. You have to think about, you have to notice those and figure out that this should be replaced with the positive surrounding, positive information, positive mindset, positive tools. So you have to acknowledge that you have caught. And yes, you have to focus on you also focus on the inquiry. Just ask your mind without judgment that is hoping to accomplish your learning, your attention back to your suffering, is figure out your problem, is make it out of a different way, is make you have pain, feel hurt. Maybe you are focusing on some other things that need to be inquired, and you also focus on this that should be implemented to overcome this kind of feelings. So you have to inquire this as well. So move on to the next step. Also focus on shift your focus. And repeat again, shift your focus from thinking about the problem to actually feeling it. Because most of our negativity or negative feelings always focus on the negative things. This is going to be held, this is effect going to be held in our life, in our situation, and blah, 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 so many things. Shift your mind and shift your focus from thinking that. You also focus on that how the benefit will happen, how the positive things can be happen. This shifting of your mindset will help you to overcome this negativity. And yes, there are other things, say no or stop out loud. Because usually we can learn to say no to our mind. And you know what? Because in some cases we say no to the child who's doing something that will harm sometimes a wiser, more developed part of us. And even we are thinking some stuff or harmful behavior, but our mind is engaged with say no and stop out loud. So you can hear and experience it directly through your mind sense rather than just another thought inside your negative addicted mind. So I do believe these 5 things can help you to overcome this kind of negative challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Noor. And just moving on, Edith, this is for you. Can a negative thought become a habit? Please explain that to us.
Yeah, thank you, Katinda. Now, I'll say that our thoughts are catalysts of self-perpetuating cycles. So what I mean is our thoughts can directly influence how we feel, how we think, and how we behave. So when you're thinking negatively, it will easily influence how you behave and how you think about yourself. So you realize that when you think you're a failure, you start feeling like a failure and behaving like a failure. So yeah, negative thoughts can easily influence our behavior, and we become that thing that we think we are. You know, like me as a Christian, there's a verse in the Bible that says that as a man thinketh, so he is. So what you think about yourself is what you are. When you think you can, yes, you can. When you think you cannot, you cannot. So it's very important that we develop a positive mindset and just think and believe positive things about ourselves, and also just surrounding ourselves with positive people, you know, people that lift you and not toxic people. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I like that one. As a man thinketh, so he becomes. Yes, it's a very powerful statement, because what you think about all day is what you are and what you become and what you do. So that's so good. So before we finalize today, what is the one message you would like to give to the viewers watching about how to overcome their negative mindsets? I know we've learned so much, we've heard so many different strategies, but what is something simple they can actually do right away once they watch this and they just implement it? Dipshika, what is something you can give them?
So already we have discussed about this in our last show, and I'll be repeating the same because it's really effective. So, and that one of my favorite speaker just quoted that things happen twice, once in mind and next in reality. So one needs to be very careful what's going on in their mind and keep a check what's going on in there so that you can just manage your life well, your reality well. So be cautiously and consciously aware of your mind and do attend our upcoming summit, which is going to be held on 23rd and 24th of April, because it's really going to shift your mindset. It will definitely shift your mindset and it will show you a path to just level up your life and your mindset. And the final thing I would like to say, yeah, it all starts with your mind. So start working on your mindset from now. Be aware, keep a check, and always remember that 1:3 ratio. Whenever any negative thing is coming to your mind, just hit that back with 3 positive things. This is something which you can immediately implement, right?
Thank you. Thank you.
And it's practical. Yeah.
Thank you. What about Isaiah? What is one thing you can get our viewers to do immediately after watching this show to help develop their positive mental attitude and mindset?
Thank you very much for the question. Well, one thing I would like to advise everybody, all our audience watching this live video is it's simple. Since environment, it's one of the primary risks of negative mindset. I would personally suggest that for us to have a positive mindset, we should adopt an environment that promotes a positive mindset. We should look for friends that promote positive mindset. We should be in a workplace that promotes positive mindset. We should be with friends. Our religion, our church should promote our positive mindset. Then anything that we feel is going to make us start feeling less of ourselves, we should do away with them instantly. That is the only way that will make us to have a positive mindset. Thank you.
Thank you. What about Noor? What is something you think the audience can actually do today after watching this?
Exactly. Actually, I have shared the 5 ways, but I'm not focusing on those because those are very, that will take more time to execute or implement their life. But I will focus simply one thing. My dear, all the audience who are watching right now, just think about, find the way to be grateful. I repeat, find the way to be grateful for yourself as well as for humanity. That is going to make you the peace and be helped to be a positive in the negative situation. Thank you.
Thank you. What about Edith? What's your one thing that you can leave? What's one tool or resource or strategy that they can actually apply straight away after watching this live show?
Okay, thank you, KATINDA. What I'd say is people should not just sit down doing nothing. Let them occupy their minds and their lives doing something, because when you're idle, that's when negative thoughts will find way in your mind. So be busy doing something. If you have nothing to do, please attend our summit on Saturday and Sunday next week. Also, watch your speech, how you speak to yourself. It's very important. You know, the words you put out in the atmosphere will influence how you view yourself and how you think about yourself. So be gracious to yourself. Speak to yourself the way you would speak to a friend who is not feeling so good about themselves. Yeah, so don't beat yourself up so much. Be gracious to yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And before we finalize today, what is one thing you do on a daily basis to check in with your well-being or to soothe your soul? I'll go with Isaiah.
Well, I think we have gone through this before. It's simple. I look at what I was able to do today and what I was not able to do yesterday. I compare what I do today, and when I discover I'm making a progress, I'm grateful for myself. Any step I cannot cover up, I push up myself and know that tomorrow will be better. I'm going to do more better. That is the way I check that I'm having a positive mindset. Thank you.
Thank you. Deepshika, how do you soothe your soul on a daily basis? One thing.
So I just connect and reconnect with my inner self. And I used to engage myself in powerful self-talk. That's very effective. Even you all can try this. It's really works.
Yes, thank you. I've actually tried the self-talk, and my son said to me, "Mom, why do you always talk to yourself?" And I said, because it looks like there's two people talking, because I talk and talk back to myself and, ask questions and respond to myself. And it was just a very interesting thing to try to explain to a little kid.
We talk in our mind. Yeah.
Yes.
We can talk in our mind, and you can tell it to your son that you just do it and experience it, then share your experience.
Yes, that's a good one. Thank you. Monkey see, monkey do. Yes. What about Noor? What is something you do for yourself to suit yourself on a daily basis? Noor, can you hear us? Okay, I don't know. Can you even hear us? Not sure. Noor, can you hear us at all? I think he's frozen. Okay. So you can
he lost.
Yes, so you can find more information on the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness by visiting our website, www.globalyouthmentalhealthawareness.org, or you can email jude@gymha.org. So that's all for today. Thank you, Deepshika, Edith, Isaiah, and Noor for blessing us with your presence today. We appreciate you. I also want to thank you, viewers, for being such a fabulous audience, for the support, and for watching the Global Youth Mental Health Awareness Show. We appreciate you very much. May all of you experience the frequencies of love and light. Stay blessed.